Peace and blessings, family. Welcome to Sunday Sitting with Sisters. It's your girl, Rolanda Wilkins, back in the building, and I am so pleased and honored to have with me special guest, Sister Taylor Johnson. Taylor, how are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Oh my God, you have grown. You're such a beautiful young woman. I mean, I remember when you were just like a little kid, and now
Yeah,
you're a grown ass woman.
come on now.
So, so Taylor, just really quick, you are an artist and a
Mhm.
creator. What is a creator?
A creator is somebody I feel like who taps into what they have in themselves and brings out their inner vision, I want to say. So they bring out what makes them unique and can show people in various forms. So through art, through music, what they're feeling deep inside and can bring that out and showcase to the world.
Right on, right on.
Mhm.
So when you were younger, was there a such thing as what you're doing right now?
Yeah, yes. So I want to say me, I'm a painter, I'm an artist. I can see things, I can see nothing and create something out of it. I know that there's always been artists, there's always been like museums, art shows, stuff like that, that people there's always been alleys for people to express themselves. And I
Mhm.
wasn't really exposed to it a lot until I, got out of where I was from and started exploring the world. But I'm pretty sure that there was, a lot around. I just wasn't exposed or aware of what it was that
Right
I was
on,
looking
right
at.
on. So this art form, we're going to get into some of your art, but I want to kind of dig into the person. How old are you, Taylor?
I'm 23. I just turned
You're
23 in October.
23.
Yes, ma'am. I know. I know. Oh, we used
Oh,
to be in
you're
the
23.
camps. Yeah.
You're absolutely beautiful, and I mean just inside and out. And
Much
so
love.
when you were coming up, was that something that was encouraged in you in terms of your art?
No, not really. I want to say I was more encouraged to find my own path, if that makes sense. So,
Mhm.
one thing with generations as they continue to go, I feel like my mother's biggest goal was to go figure it out. Like, so get everything, go to college, go do whatever you need to do to go figure out what you're supposed to be doing in life. And that it wasn't necessarily encouraged, but I did have access to things like the Sacramento Prodigy team who let me do my art. And I made my own job. My first job I ever had was the creative artistic director, and I made all the decorations for all the things we used to have. So that was the first time I really started like, oh, I'm having fun. I'm get to do things. So I slowly got exposed to it as I started growing in who I am.
So with that being said, what was that prodigy? What was that when you could get into something to create your own? What was that?
Sacramento Prodigy Team was a group of high schoolers, and our whole mission was to have a safe location where people can come together and just have fun, celebrate life, like in a safe location. We felt like there wasn't a lot to do in Sacramento in terms for teens. So what we did was create something. We had people that were from every single high school that would promote our parties and product gatherings. We'll do like community service. We'll do things together, just a group of healthy minded like teens just progressing and just trying to bring something to Sacramento because we didn't see a lot happening. So be the change you want to see. So we created something that can really bring everybody together. uh, Through that, it was amazing. I got to meet people. It was the first time I got out the house in a while. It was the first time I got to meet, and be around different kinds of minds and energy. And I loved it. It definitely grew me in a lot of ways.
Right on, right on. So what schools did you go to in Sacramento?
So I started out at McClatchy High School. That was my first school. And then
I
come
went
on
there
now.
for 2 years.
Yeah. And then I
The
switched.
Lions.
Yeah, come on now. And I ended up switching to Sacramento High School. And that's where I finished out and eventually graduated.
Dragons.
hmm
Wow. Hold on. How long did you go to McClatchy?
I was only there for the first year, for my freshman year. So I switched from Sutter to McClatchy and then from McClatchy to Sac High.
Wow, that's interesting because I went to McClatchy. I used your grandmama's address.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
We all
I
did.
went to I want to go to McClatchy so bad.
Mm-hmm.
I went to McClatchy for 2 years and then finished off the last 2 years at Sac High. Was a
Mm-hmm.
dragon, so started off as
Yeah.
a lion, ended up as a dragon. So that's what's
Yeah.
up.
Come on now.
What was that experience like at Sac High?
It was definitely different. So I've never been around a lot of people that look like me, like throughout my life. So again, I went to Bret Hart. It was very diverse. I went to Sutter Middle School, which was extremely diverse. A lot of Asian, Hmong, being surrounded. I wasn't around a lot of people that looked like me until I got to Sac High. So it was okay. It was like a little culture shock because again, in McClatchy, I had counted at the time how many African American or people that looked like me was in the school, and there was
Wow.
17 total. So
Wow.
seven staff included, everybody. So I counted. I was like, wow, there's not a lot of people. There's a lot of predominantly white and Asian. So Sacramento, Sac High is the complete opposite. It's predominantly African American, Mexican, with a sprinkle of different races. So it was my first culture shock, I want to say. But being around it was amazing. The first thing I really did was I love music. So I got into the drum line. I started doing things that I can, so I can be out and just find my way, if that makes sense. So it definitely was a culture shock for me.
Did that influence you going off to college at all?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I got exposed to, I had a guidance counselor named Mr. Lawrence, and he exposed me to the HBCU experience. He was like, he's a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. I've never heard of fraternities. Like, he had this little brand. I was like, what is that? I was very inquisitive about it. At the time, if I'm being very honest, the only thing I knew about HBCUs was Stump the Yard and the movies that we've seen on TV and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, this seemed like a somewhere, that's where you want to be at. That seems like where the place where, black people just thrive. So I've always wanted to go to an HBCU. Sac High is famous for having HBCU fairs. And I got accepted on a spot to quite a few of them, Grambling, Norfolk State University, which is in Virginia, and Virginia State. My mom didn't want me to go to Grambling because Grambling's in the middle of, who knows where, it's in the desert kind of thing. So I ended up going to Virginia State, and that is literally the best move that I've ever made in my life. That is the
Wow.
best thing that has ever happened to me, getting out of the environment that I was raised in and going to another environment just to see, just to see what it's like, just to see who I am and what did I take from my upbringing and my grounding that I can produce a thriving adult.
So Virginia State. So what was that like?
Amazing. Life changing. My first experience, so I didn't know anybody in Virginia. I went out there completely solo dolo, just trying to find my way. That's what I call this chapter of my life since I left home, just finding my way. um it was amazing. It was the first time that I was around black people, like a lot of different kinds of black people. There's the wealthy, there's the ones that think this way, there's the ones that think that way, there's ones from the islands, there's one from, there's so many different kinds of African American, and they're so beautiful. Like,
Mm.
there's nothing that tops HBCU on a nice hot day. I want to say 75, 80 degrees. Everybody is like wearing their best. We're all on campus just vibing, just how beautiful we are. Like, it's such an experience that I feel
Wow.
like every person should experience. Because that's the first time I really looked at myself like, yo, black is beautiful. Like, it's this stuff that we got here is so we're a happy people. You see what I'm saying? This is the
Yeah.
first time I got to be really exposed around a lot of different kinds of people that look like me, and it did nothing but broaden my horizons, broaden my understanding of who I am, where I come from, why we are the way we are. Just different perspectives of things.
So what was it like going to a place like Virginia State and then coming back and vibing with people here in Sacramento or your community here from the West Coast? What was that like? I mean, I know you must have been excited because when something
Yeah.
good happens, I know I want to tell everybody.
No, no, for real. So when I came back, last time I was back, I was helping my mom for Christmas. Um, I don't. I just had a different. I feel like I grown personally. So I spent, a couple years away from everything that I thought I knew, and was adapting to a whole new system of belief, system of understanding, and unlearning and relearning. So I feel like I came back with a new mentality about who I am, like where I come from. Like, I came back with more gratitude, especially like just for like I didn't have it as rough as I know, because we in class we've got to tell stories, we got to understand people. I've been fortunate enough to join a lot of organizations, sororities, like all that stuff that can put me around different kinds of people to get me to understand. So it coming back, I really had an understanding of wow, like black people are beautiful. I used to see them a crab in a barrel mentality, if I'm being very honest with you. Because
No,
that's
please.
yeah. So I'll be very honest. A lot of it was crab in a barrel mentality. Like when I was leaving, it's like everybody's trying to make it, but they're pulling people down. Out here in the East Coast period, because right now I'm in Atlanta. And East Coast period is a lot of uplifting. Like, oh, you need something? I know somebody that can use your services. Okay, cool. You need somebody? I know somebody. It's a lot of cross network and keeping the money within, especially Atlanta. And when I come back to Sacramento, that's all I think about. I'd be like, okay, so how can we continue to network and build and grow? Like, as people, like have our own, like not have to depend on somebody outside of who we are and what we carry to help us, if that makes sense. Like it was just a growing process for me, and I'm still
Wow.
growing. I'm only 23 still, so
Yeah,
life is
it's
just
beautiful.
yeah, beautiful.
That is so beautiful. I hear people say when you go to a HBCU, it's a different kind of experience.
Yes.
And some of my closest friends went to HBCUs,
Hmm.
and there's a groundingness in your blackness
Yes,
that you don't
absolutely.
always get to have if you went, say, to Sac State. Nothing against Sac State, but I'm just saying that you get to get something very different, and I could hear that in you. Not like you didn't know you was black, but
Hmm.
there is something in the knowing and being in an environment where you get to see you making it.
Hmm. They One big thing about HBCUs, they demand excellence. They don't let you walk to school or walk to class in pajamas. They don't let you on Mondays. Look, on Mondays we have to dress up. On Wednesdays we have to dress professional dress Mondays and Wednesdays. You see what I'm saying? So you have that experience of what it looks like to be professionally dressed. That's just
Mm,
stuff like that. And it's like it's different. They demand so much excellence from you because they see you as somebody, a future leader, not just a person. And HBCUs are so catered towards building the African American up that it's a you find a family. You legit find a family, like another fam. That's what I found. Like when I came to Virginia State, I found another somewhere I can call home and build my basis off of. And it's just it's beautiful. I don't even know how else to describe it. It's a very humbling experience. Like it. All
beautiful.
right, let me break you down, but I'm gonna build you right back up even stronger. Like that's
Yeah.
all I've endured since I've been at Virginia State.
Wow. So now that you graduated from Virginia State, what did you do after you graduated? Like you had that experience. It was awesome. What was your next steps? What did you have to do to get in this place, the place you're in right now?
I moved directly to Atlanta. So I've always wanted to go to Atlanta. My father actually stays out here. So I visited a few times back and forth. And every single time I step foot in Atlanta, it does something to me. I don't know what it is.
Mm,
It's like everybody has a hustle about themselves. Everybody is moving and doing, and you get to be a part of that. So I knew I wanted to move out here afterwards. This whole COVID thing just pushed it further. So I was like, okay, cool. So I moved out here in Atlanta, and it's just been nothing but networking, getting my feet on the ground, trying to find my way. Again, this whole theme of my life that I'm calling right now is just trying to find my way, setting the groundwork for who I want to be, like healing all the stuff that I need to heal so I can be a functioning adult. Just I knew I wanted to go somewhere where I can thrive, where a lot is happening, but you can still humble and be yourself, if that makes sense.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, Atlanta was my first move. I just knew something was going to happen out here.
Right on. You are so inspiring. I'm listening to you, but I just feel so inspired. Like, because I think that's what a lot of people are looking for is that inspiration, if you will.
Hmm.
So you are an artist
Hmm.
and you are a creator, and I love that. I'm showing here on the screen. If you could just give me just a minute here. Um, Hold on, let me see. What am I doing wrong here? I'm doing this wrong. There you go. So this is part of your artwork. So what are we seeing right here?
This was actually my first body painting that I've ever did.
Wait a
She's
minute,
not wearing
that's paint?
clothes. All that's paint. There's no clothes. She's not wearing any clothes.
Wow.
Yes. So one thing again, I equate to Virginia State University. I joined a performing arts organization that encourages you to bring out your talents. That what's special about you and highlights it. And they told me that I knew I can draw. I've always been able to do a little doodle or something. But they told me that I had something. And I was like, okay, cool. So I've been production behind the scenes. All that is paint and glitter things to make it pop, and it goes all the way down. Yes. So that
Oh,
was actually my
that's
first.
incredible.
Thank you so much. That was actually my first body painting that I've ever did, and I was just so excited because I've always wanted to. It's a walking canvas. You see what I'm saying? So I she hit me up and said, "Hey, I want to do a photo shoot. I heard you can paint. What about a body painting?" She asked me, like, because she knew what I carried. You see what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, "Okay, I would love to try. I would love to try." That's my mentality. But I would love to try.
That's incredible. Look like a straight up suit, like the down to the shorts and the or the. That's incredible.
Yeah, she's not wearing any clothes, not even nothing, not at all.
Wow, Taylor. So where do you draw your inspirations from your work? I mean, where do you get the inspiration from?
A fundamental understanding of who I am in the moment. So if I'm being very honest, college hasn't always been like a really breeze. Like sometimes I was down, or sometimes I was, depressed, like just trying to figure it out. It's a compact way of figuring yourself out is what I described the college experience. Um, I use painting as meditation. So I would
Mm.
just be there. I'm just trying to unload or what's going on. I was in my dorm room painting just because I was, sad, or I was in the band for, if I'm being very honest with you, I was in the band for 3 years. I had tied my whole identity in college of being Taylor in the band. Everybody knew me as that girl, the only girl that was on the drum line. Everybody knew me out, as being this person that was just in the band. I left band to focus on my studies so I can, get on track to graduate and everything. And I was depressed when I got out of band. I didn't know who I was anymore. Like my whole identity was tied into that since I had been at Virginia State. And I started painting in my dorm room one day. And of course, I have suite mates and people that come in and out and all that. And I was just painting. I'm sitting here just in my head. It's painting for me is me sitting down and just grounding myself. That's what it's always been. It's never been anything more than that. This is my sit still moment because I do a lot. I'm always active. I'm always moving. I'm always thinking. I'm always doing something. So it started out as just a grounding thing for me. And somebody came in and asked me for a painting one day. I was like, "Hey, you're really dope at what you do. Can you paint me something?" I was like, "Sure. Well, I mean, why not? What do you want? What's your vision? I can bring it to life." Unknowing that's how my whole business started. So
Wow.
somebody asked me one time, can they paint something? They told their friends. Then it was this thing called probate season. So probate season is when Greeks, like fraternities and sororities, come out on campus and show the new people that they brought into their organization. Somebody asked me to make a canvas. One of my brothers from my performing arts organization, he was like, he asked me to make a canvas for him for this girl, and she was just mind, but he said, "I don't care what you do. I just want it to be a gift. Like, I know you're going to get in your bag. Just do your thing." That was it. I was like, "Okay, cool." Like, this is, again, my first thing I've ever sold. Like, this is the first time somebody paid me for art. And I was like, "Oh, thank you." He's like, "Yo, this is crazy." Like, they posted me all over social media. They posted me all over everything. So it was such an influx of people that just started hitting me up on campus. Like, it just, orders just started pouring in. I'm like, and I didn't have a job in college. Like I always was just focusing on, what's my college experience. This was the first time somebody gave me money to be me. You see what I'm saying? Just to sit here and I'm like, okay, like sure. What do you want? Okay, got you. I can do that. What do you want? Okay, I could do that. Like, and it just turned into this amazing thing. This really grew from me just sitting still and being myself and playing on the talents and gifts that God naturally gave me. And it's been beautiful ever since.
Tell me about this piece right here.
So
This
this
is
is,
Deltas, right?
yes, Delta Sigma
Whew.
Theta
Get it
sorority
right.
incorporated. Yeah. So this piece, I was asked to make this piece, and I knew nothing about. Again, I knew minimal. I want to say about D9. I know they love elephant. I had to do a lot of research on my own for what each one represents, what each one's doing for whoever and God. I don't really know. So I had to do my own research, and I found out a few symbols that represents them, and I literally just I was like, okay, so what I'm seeing is this is y'all symbol. Y'all love this. Let me put this and this together. Ooh, I'm gonna add some sparkly in the background. Ooh, I'm gonna do this. Like in my sitting down and just doing, I'm like, ooh, she gonna love this. I always think that when I paint it. Oh, they're gonna love this. They're gonna go crazy because I'm getting excited as I'm painting for it, and that's transferring through my excitement onto this canvas. So this was the first one that I ever actually sold. Like, and I was just excited. It was the first big canvas. It was the first thing that some people looked at and said, "Oh wow, like that's really cool that you do that." And it's been blowing up ever since.
That's incredible. That's really, really incredible. Let me stop this share. Because I just think it's incredible. So Taylor, um, so somebody came to you, basically you started Do you have any pieces that you do that are just like in your own imagination that you sold?
I do. I do. I wish I could. Oh, I do have some. Yes. Okay. So I one thing I want to get better at is doing more pieces for me, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So
Yes.
absolutely in the beginning stages, I was doing a lot of pieces just for me. And then it kind of turned into, okay, I bet you I can make whatever vision that you got come true. Whatever you want to paint it, I bet you that I can do it even better than your expectation of what you thought you were going to get. So
Mm.
it became a personal challenge for me. So right now I'm in the process of actually getting more back into more pieces that are just for me. Like last night I was sitting and I was listening to Oprah Super Soul Sunday and I was like, yo, this will be a dope piece to do. Just a black woman, like, so I have a lot of ideas and I have them written down. And one thing I'm gonna do is get out in nature and then ground myself and then get back into that mojo, if that makes sense. Because
Yeah,
masterpiece is my business. So I just got my LLC for it a few months ago. So I'm actually, taking a step forward to make this what I want to do with my life. Like I want to be creative. I want to express. I want to spend my life expressing myself. I want to be that, if that makes sense. So
that makes a lot of sense. Do you think we should have more of this kind of expression in schools, period?
absolutely,
Particularly those earlier years of school,
absolutely.
secondary?
I think we should gear things towards what the child or what the person is naturally attracted to. Imagine if you knew what you carried at a young age and you just all you did was spend your life building upon it and building experience for it. Instead of like, I know everything is one track. Like we got to know your education, you got to know what it, the basics of the world around you. But I just feel like knowing who you are and what you carry, because everybody's unique, everybody has a gift, everybody has a
Right
talent.
on.
Once you tap into that talent, your gift will make room for you always. What is that? Proverbs 18:16. Your gift will make room for you always.
Mm.
My gift made room for me. My gift gave me a whole alley to express myself as well as monetize along, get me in so many doors. I was doing live paintings or for the president, you see what I'm saying, of my campus, just at their dinners, at the fashion shows. I've got into so
Wow.
many alleys just doing what it is that is me, a gift. And there's so many gifts. Like if you smile the best in the world, you should be make everybody compliment you on how beautiful your smile is.
Mm.
I find an alley that that you can smile in, if that makes sense. There's always
Yeah.
room. There's always room. There's always room. And there's no such thing as an oversaturated market. You are not anybody else. You're your own unique person. So again, doors will always align itself and open for you because that's who you are. That's what you manifest. That's what you're giving out.
Right on. You talked about, I mean, what in the piece that the person gave me that hooked this interview up, um, you talked about finding your gifts and
Mm-hmm.
how to stay unique and
Mm-hmm.
how to stay consistent. Those were some key themes that you use.
Mm-hmm.
How do you stay consistent? Because some people are like, oh, today I want to be an artist. Then next week, oh, I think I want to be a pilot. I mean, how do you stay consistent as an artist?
I want to say just continuing to do what it is that as an art, okay, so as an artist, there's no one lane to go down. Cause I draw, I paint, I color, I do body painting, I do murals, I do anything. You see what I'm saying? It's the consistency of using your creativity. That's the
Mm,
consistency. It's not just one lane you stay down. It's staying creative in general.
gotcha.
It's staying open and curious as to what we can create. Oh, you say staying grounded, staying open, knowing who you are, knowing what it is that you carry and what you bring. It's just the consistency of, yeah, staying creative, staying unique, staying you. Don't let the world tell you, because we live in such a media cancel culture, media heavy. Everybody follows this one blueprint of how to live. You're
Mhm.
supposed by 25, you're supposed to be this. By 30, you're supposed to be. There's no such thing as a timeline. You have your own timeline. Everything happens to like for you, not to you. What happens on your own divine plan and schedule. Like there's no such thing. So just doing you, just doing you. What do you feel like doing right now? Like how do you feel like showing up as your best version of yourself today? That's all you got to
Mm,
do when you wake up. Show up as your best version of yourself today. Try it again tomorrow. If you fail tomorrow, you do a little something. Okay, guess what? You have the next day. You have a consistent. It's just a consistent energy of just doing, of just thriving, just being, just being
that's
you.
beautiful. That's beautiful. So how do you? I'm right there with you, but you said something key in today's culture. It is, man, like you could be famous today, in the trash tomorrow,
Man,
canceled tomorrow. Even though I don't know how you cancel people, but
right,
I
right.
mean,
It's been popularized. 'Cause if you don't agree with what everybody else thinks that you should be, you're canceled. Oh, we can't. But didn't we used to thrive off of people being different? Like
Yeah.
we used to be, everybody has something unique to contribute to society, but everything is just so carbon copy, one way to do it now. That's why I've deleted social media so many times. I come back to post and delete it again. You see what I'm saying? Like I don't even. I'm so serious. Posting is what gets me my clients. If I'm being very honest with you,
Yeah.
hashtag. So I'm sitting here like this is a lot. This is what media is too powerful, way too powerful, and we care too much. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We
we give
care
it too much power.
entirely too much, entirely too much.
Wow, that's so true. We give media a lot of power. Like, I mean, a lot. And some people do like turn it off. You know how people like you a Catholic, they go through Lent and they be like, I'm giving up social media.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Um,
Because it's an addictive thing. It's something you wake up. The first thing you do when you wake up is you check your Instagram. You check something that you check what the world is doing instead of checking in on yourself first. Instead of sitting in you and then letting the world. It's I
okay.
don't. Especially with this COVID, the rise of everybody, there's a lot of stuff that's just condensed. Like it's a lot of pressure and tension going on in the world right now. I just
Mm.
get out in nature, find out who you are, continue to thrive. That's my
Tell me
niece.
about this piece.
So I was in Arkansas with my niece and my aunt. And my niece was like, Taylor, when are you going to do a painting on me? When are you going to do a paint? Can you do a paint? I was like, sure. I was like, do you mind what I do? And she was like, no, not at all. I was like, okay, bet. I've always wanted to try this one thing. This was just me sitting with we were sitting there talking, laughing, all this good stuff, and this is the result of it. Like I've always wanted to try different unique things. Like I don't know, where do you see that at? Where do you see that at? That's just a
No.
random, right? You said it's perspective. It's a lot of things. I was just excited to try something new. That's really
Awesome.
what gets me excited. I love trying new things. I love explore taking my talent to the further. Okay, this is a human. This is a person. You see what I'm saying? Like this is a whole. I don't know. I know I'm on the right path. I'm just juiced to get here. Like
You know
I'm
what?
happy to be here.
That looks like how I laugh. I
Tight. Me
was
too.
all bent
Me,
out. Like,
this like
my
yes.
goodness.
Absolutely, absolutely. We both got big cheeks, big
Yeah.
smiles, all that good stuff. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
hey,
I love that. That's so creative. What do you
thank you.
entitle this?
What? Say it again.
What's the name of this particular painting?
I didn't title it. I don't usually title my paintings. I really should. This is just me in the moment with my cousin, with my niece. I'm sorry, with my niece.
Wow.
This is just
That
me
is
in the
so
moment.
awesome.
That's where I was, and that's me in Arkansas. That's what was happening in Arkansas. I was just happy. Like,
I love it. I absolutely love that piece. Um, do you have any favorite artists yourself that you grew up maybe watching or
can
anything that inspired you in particular?
being honest, no. I've never looked at an artist and be like, I want to be just like you. I've always wanted to be like Oprah. Let me be very honest with you. Oprah
Okay.
is always because Oprah is a household name. She is a giver. She's a person that, she's just she's an all around person who found her way and her own uniqueness and zoned all the way into it. And that's everything that I want to be. So it wasn't a specific artist. It was just I want to tap into me so much that I can give through me, and that's just what's
Mhm.
been manifesting like that. This masterpiece artist manifested. I don't know how. I'm grateful for it though. Somebody's praying for me. I know they are. But I all this just manifested in such a beautiful way, and I'm just happy to be here. Honestly, I'm just taking it day by day.
Wow. I want to show another one of your pieces. Um, this piece right here should be coming up. Okay. Tell us about this piece here.
So I it was a challenge for me. Somebody actually challenged me to do this. Um, Anime is a huge thing. I know sometimes, the way we were raised, we don't really look at anime. That's some weird stuff. Anime is actually really cool. It's very popular and it sells. Like not even it sells. Everybody. This is Naruto. So Naruto is one of the popular anime characters. And somebody challenged me because I put on my Instagram live. I said, "What character do you want to see?" Because again, I can draw, I can paint anything you see, you think I can, like, challenge me. It's always been a challenge. All right, Naruto, when he was fighting this other guy and he ended up, so I was like, okay, cool, bet, challenge accepted. This is the manifestation of that. This is that. Everybody went crazy over this, and I sold this piece for. This is actually one of the I sold this piece, and this is actually one of the most I got the most money for this piece that I've ever had before. I was like, oh wow. So I've actually am in the process of getting prints made for it so I can continue to sell, just to continue to, mine it like,
Wow.
you want art? I got you. You want anything? I can paint it, like type stuff. This was a challenge. And yeah, I don't know. I love what I do. I love the fact that I can sit here and look at something and bring that out and bring that onto a canvas. I'm just excited for that fact alone.
Wow. What words of encouragement will you give to young people out there that want to follow their dreams, that want to, maybe be a creator? Because usually that was never really a job. That was something that was given to very few, or obtained by very few, to be a creator.
Hmm.
So what advice would you give?
Find what it is that makes you unique and monetize it. Your gift will always make room for you. I live by that. Your gift will always make room. Find your gift. As soon as you find your gift, you found your way. You find your what it is that you're on this earth to do. What are you good at? What are you naturally drawn to? Continue to explore it. Like practice, get better at it, because you're not just gonna come out the gate being Picasso. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
practice, get better at it. You're not gonna come out being Beyonce, but you're gonna work consistency, work, get get good at what it is that God naturally gave you, and all doors will open up for you.
Wow. So okay, I gotta throw this out here, because just in hearing you talk, it's just so inspirational. I gotta ask you this question. How do you, because I'm pretty sure in your life all of us have had challenges.
Mhm.
All of us had to overcome things. How do you not blame other people for who you are now?
Can I be very honest with you? I used to. I used to blame everybody. I used to be like, "You did this. I don't want to be." All that good stuff. But it's the again leaving the environment that I was in, unlearning a lot of stuff that I had learned and learned. Still figuring it out. Again, I'm 23. It's the fundamental understanding that life is happening for me and not to me. Life is
Mm,
always happening for me and not to me. Everything that I have
wow.
endured, everything that I have been through, it happened for me and my greater good. And I know that. I know that. I know that. I know that from the bottom of my core now, and I walk with that energy.
Hold on, I got it. You said, say that again, because I gotta let that sink in up in here. I'm massaging the brain. Say
I'm
that again.
feeling I have a fundamental understanding that life is happening for me and not to me. Everything that I had to endure is going to help. I can help somebody down along the way. I know everything is happening for a reason. It's not just bad thing that you deserve this. It's not something that's geared towards you. People operate with the best mentality that they have present in the moment. It's not they're doing their best. Once you take the labels off of it, once you take the labels off of people that you put on the high altar and stuff like that, you understand that people, they're trying. Everybody's trying with the best mentality. Sometimes people aren't as healed. Sometimes people didn't get to experience life or get that healing or that understanding of themselves. That has nothing to me. That nothing to do with me. How they react to me has a reflect. How people react to you is a reflection of what they see in themselves. So this hate that they're spewing towards you, if it's something that's how they talk and see themselves, that has nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with
Amen.
me at all. So it's life is happening for me, not to me.
Girl, you done hit the nail on the head. Like when we was in church, I'd be like, "Amen." I'll be fanning you right now. Because I'm talking to everybody, but sometimes when I'm with younger people, or people around your age, because I'm up there. I didn't believe how old I really am, but sometimes I hear a lot of like blaming people. But here you are, 23 years old. All of us have been through stuff. I'm pretty sure you've been through stuff. But the way you said life is happening for me, not to me.
Mhm.
That in itself, like, man, that should be like a motto of the day. That should be part of your meditation when you hit the mat.
Mhm.
Like, I mean,
It is. It
that puts
definitely
it right
is.
back on you, you know.
Mhm.
So, whew, that was heavy. Do you do any keynote speaking for young folks?
I do not currently. I want to
Me
start
too,
a
child.
YouTube and a podcast and stuff like that, because I've always had a big mouth. I've always been able to talk and be out and bubbly and know how to talk to people, and I've learned how to do it better over the years. I'm 23. I'm still learning. So I'm just taking that journey. So I want to start a podcast. I want to start a YouTube. I want to paint and talk. That's my idea. That it's just a few things that I have planned geared towards, but I haven't had the opportunity to go back. But
Me too.
you feel
Yeah, because the thing, yeah, older people, we need you. Yeah, I get that. But younger people need to see young people like themselves in this mindset.
so?
Because right now, y'all getting a bunch of brain dumps on garbage, in,
Mm,
in a sense. That's just
mm,
really popular, like being brainless, being mindless, thoughtless,
yeah,
whatever. But
yeah.
here you are. There's a young girl who does makeup. and
Mm-hmm.
she does makeup, and then she shares with you historical stories. I've
Mm-hmm.
watched her like at least 4 times.
Oh wow.
'Cause I'm not into makeup, but I guess that's how I listen to her. But she's on a, she's doing her makeup, but she's giving you stories. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But painting, like there is something watching something come to life on a canvas while getting information that can help elevate you.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody just said in here, you paint and speak.
Come on now.
Right on. You see what I'm saying? And I know because I have certain people that I listen to every week when they do their podcasts or when they do their lives every week while I have my downtime and I'm typing up stuff. I listen to them while I'm typing. I've
Mm-hmm.
always been like that. I'm a news kind of person, so I like to listen
Me
to
too. Me too.
information.
Me too.
But man, like young people need to hear what you're saying so that they can see that you could be 23 and still figuring it out, but also, develop yourself. Because we struggle, a lot of young people struggle with like trying to fit in,
Mm-hmm.
because you guys,
No,
you get old, if
no,
you're trying to fit in when you're
don't.
old, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
But I
no,
can see
don't fit
growing,
in.
trying to find your way. But seeing someone like you, Taylor, say that you're 23, that can go a long way. Somebody will be dependent on just to hear your message today.
Come on now.
Because
That's
somebody needs
exciting.
to hear. I needed to hear what you had to say when you talked about life is happening, is not happening, it's happening for me, not to me. I
Mm-hmm.
needed to hear that.
Oh, come on
I
now.
needed to hear that. Because sometimes people dump on you and you be like, what? But you be like, hey, that ain't my stuff. That's they stuff. You
Mm-hmm.
reminded me of that today. So as an older person, I feel some way. I can't imagine being younger and having someone who is young like me having those same thoughts because that's not something that we promote in this culture.
Mm-hmm.
That's the beauty of social media.
Mm-hmm.
You get to put your own thoughts out there and let it marinate in the universe. You don't have to wait. Like, I wish somebody would do something about me. You can do something about me. Like, if that's what you want
Yeah.
to see.
Can I say one last thing?
Yeah, no, you can say as many things you want, girl. We
I'm
good. We
so
got time.
absolutely. It wasn't. I didn't always have this mentality, and I really want to stress that.
Okay.
College, it was a very rough time for me because I felt, I'm away from everything I know, and I know, everything I know and everything I grew up around. Um, I literally had to build myself. And I'm still building myself. Don't think I'm a cured like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
23. I really would love to emphasize that I'm 23, but college, I started listening to when I'm pain, like when I'm down, when I'm sad. I started YouTubing motivational things to keep me up. When I wake up in the
Mm,
morning, I listen to something motivational, something positive before the world tells me how negative it is. You see what I'm
right
saying?
on.
So I start Miles Monroe, Les Brown. I started listening to podcasts and stuff like that, and then I started doing it while I paint. So while I'm painting in this meditative state, I'm just hearing good. I'm hearing who I
Mm,
am. What is it that you? There's a preacher called R.C. Blakes. It's he wrote a book. Oh, what is it called? What it called? Queenology. Queenology. It's all about queenology, who you are as a woman, where you stand, and stuff like. I listen to people tell me great things about me, or like what the power that I possess. How can I bring that out? How I listen to that nonstop in college, and that's where I am right now. If that makes sense, you have to feed
yeah.
yourself the stuff you want to hear. You have to put into your atmosphere goodness for it to manifest for you, if that makes sense. So that's
Mm,
literally what college was for me. It was a breaking down and then me building up, like slowly and surely building up. Okay, this is who I am. This is what I'm going to do. Okay. Lisa Nichols, I love listening to her. She is a speaker, like a speaker. And I love, it's just different people that encourage different things, brought different things out of me. So I mentally and physically built my own support system. You see what I'm saying? Or
I
built
get
people.
that.
If I'm sad or something, I'm going to listen to, a podcast about what to do in this time. Because I don't want to say I didn't have any mentors or I didn't have that. I I built my own, if that makes sense. I made my own way, if that
I
makes
get
sense.
that.
I'm still doing it. I'm still
What was the turning point for you? What was the turning point for Taylor when you
um
realized that you could do that?
so when I got to school, I was still operating in Little Taylor instead of Big Taylor. You see what I'm saying?
Mm,
So Little Taylor, so okay, so I describe when I'm acting. So if I'm jealous or if I'm acting like a little kid, or if I'm that's Little Taylor. That's not my highest self. You see what I'm saying? That's not Big Taylor playing full out. So I came to college. I was still Little Taylor. I was still thinking the world was against me. Everybody's trying to hurt. I was still, just doing just scared. I was scared of everything. I was like I didn't trust easy. I'm still opening up, if that makes sense. So I was in band actually. If I'm being very honest, my first boyfriend. I seen me and how we were together, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like how I'm showing up to you, especially is that I'm showing up how I've seen relationships being shown up as. And that was
Mm-hmm.
my turning point. How I seen people in relationships growing up, which, they were all right. They weren't, the best examples, but it gave me a foundation of what not to do. But I seen me showing up as that into the world, and I didn't like that. I didn't like what I was produced. I didn't like that I was making a whole other person feel, down
Mm-hmm.
and bad. And I didn't know that I was doing it. You say I was unconsciously doing a lot of that. And I didn't want to. I didn't want to do that anymore. So I just started not doing it. I just started showing, okay, so who is it that I want to be? You can cheat. You can cheat the system. Who is it? Who do you see somebody that's doing something that you want to do? Look at them. What are they? How are they showing up every day? Just copy them so you can get your own foundation, your own grounding. That's literally what I did. Lisa Nichols shows up as a strong woman who is boisterous and not afraid to be herself. I tap into her when I feel like, if I'm doing something that I'm scared or shaky about. Just different parts. But that's the big Taylor. That's the big Taylor that has a collection that's collected all this like fundamental
Mm-hmm.
knowledge and understanding of things. But
Right on.
yeah, that was my last point. Sorry.
No, 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 no. You
Mhm.
everything you speaking is real truth. I always ask that question like, what was that moment? And you just shared that moment. So if I was to ask you about how you see, like I work with a lot of young girls, and one of the things they talk a lot about is relationships, and
Mhm.
they talk a lot about do they think they're ever going to find their special someone?
Mhm.
Sometimes we don't think young people think of stuff like that. I
Oh
don't know
yeah,
why,
no.
because I know I did when I was young,
Yeah,
but
no, right?
you know what I mean? So, but to hear somebody like with that, is it important for you, Taylor, and your development to be paired up with someone? Or you like, no, I'm just doing me.
It's important for me to get to my highest self so my king will be able to recognize me when the time comes. It's important for me to be a whole functioning adult first or be my own like my own person first cuz a relationship is two people. It's not two halves of a people coming together. It's two whole people. What I'm searching for right now is wholeness, trying to find what it is that makes me and get grounded in me. If that makes sense. And it's
Mm-hmm.
not I'm not predicated on finding somebody right just I'm 23. I'm 23. I always say that when I
Yeah.
just turned 23 in October too. I'm 22. This is my first time being 23 in my entire life. You see what I'm saying?
Uh,
It just take that pressure off. There's no pressure. The thing is, social media tells us we have to be married by 25. We have to have all this by 30. Like, no, no, you don't, you don't, you don't. There's no timeline. Your timeline is how it's God's plan. It's good. It's the divine order of your life. How you suit what it would. It's just you have time. You always have time.
Taylor, how do you make amends with people who maybe you haven't had the best relationships with so far? I know you didn't, do it with everybody, but how do you
Yeah.
begin to like? Because when people show you who they are, it's just who they are. Like
Mhm.
you can't change it. But how do you make amends? Um, and your young 23-year-old self.
Right, come on now. If I'm being very honest, that's still something that I am still working on.
Right.
So, me personally, right now, I had to separate to understand. You see what I'm saying? I had to. Time heals all. I know that. So, just not staying in that environment or just not sitting here and festering on that. Having those conversations that hurt. Again, I'm still doing this myself with my own family, with my own people that are around me. Just having that conversation, like you have to respect your elder, you have to respect, but knowing that if something hurt me, like it hurt, you are validated in your feelings and your right. I look at
Yeah,
everybody again, especially in my family, especially in the environment that I was raised. You are operating with the best mentality that you have right now,
I love
present in
that.
the moment. You are
I love
operating,
that.
and I know that, and I know, and because I have that fundamental understanding, I can't be mad. I cannot be mad at you for do. I can. I could be disappointed. I can have, things toward like, why'd you just do that? I know you're trying, but it's always, I know you're trying. It's that fundamental understanding that people are human and they're trying. You see what I'm saying? They're
Yeah,
trying. It may
yeah,
not come off as you. I can't be mad at people. Sometimes I'm upset about it. I'm like, dang, you really did me wrong. I can't even be mad at you. Like, I can't because I understand you're trying. You're trying. You're trying. You see what I'm saying? So that's just right now what I'm still trying to figure it out, sis. I don't even know.
yeah.
I'm still trying to figure it out.
How did you get to that place though of people are operating on what they have?
Research. Those people that I've sat down and listened to while I'm painting, where I'm grounding myself. That's Oprah, Oprah, Miles Monroe, Les Brown, these inspirational people are pouring into me. And it was a thought that I forgot who said, I think it was Evan Carmichael, for real, for real. Somebody said that and it stuck with me from the moment. It changed my entire perspective of how I'm viewing things. I'm thinking you're doing this to me because you don't like me. I'm thinking everything is happening to me because you don't, it's me. I'm thinking it's me. It's not me. It's how you're showing, how you treat me is how you treat you. If you're treating yourself bad, you don't trust yourself, and you're not doing this, and you're, not showing up for you, how can I expect you to show up for me? You see what I'm saying?
Amen.
It's been I'm 23. I would keep saying that. I'm 23. I'm learning. I'm still
And
learning.
there's people who's 55, 60, 70, and they don't even got that part taken.
Wow, come on. We
I
right on
mean,
time
that's
then.
man. That's beautiful. And I also think that's why I'm saying people got to see young folks like you. We got to see young people like you. I don't, we bring up the age. I get it.
Mhm,
23 years on the planet as opposed to 75 years on the planet. But I think when you get the lesson, you get it.
mhm.
You know what I mean? And I think we got to see more of you, and having those conversations. We see sometimes some people live in a world of reality TV shows where they see black women fighting all day long.
That girl club.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Or,
That stuff
but
is
we
so
know that that's not a real reality.
Mhm. But that's what they're trying to display as the reality. So when you're acting like this is justified, because I seen somebody on TV acting like this. That's not normal. That's unhealthy. That's unhealthy. Like that's not knowing how to properly like communicate your feelings and effectively communicate. That's not healthy. Like I don't know. I when I see things, I stopped watching TV for a long time and I started watching things that I feel will pour into me. So me now, like I'm just not starting to get back into just watching, every blue moon I'll see, okay, I peep in, what's the world seeing today? Like what's
Mm.
the big this a lot of stuff that we are being seen is not healthy. It's dysfunctional. They don't and I always question why. Why is this the main thing that is being portrayed for us black people? We're angry, we're bitter, we hate all this, and we're gonna cuss you out and all that. No, that's not normal. That's somebody operating out of an unhealthy mentality that they were brought up in. Like this, that's a healing moment. That's not a praise them for being this. I don't know. I think differently. I always said that. I just think differently.
Taylor, it is 50 years from now, and
Mm-hmm.
you will be what, 73?
73, yes.
What would you want younger people to say about Taylor?
Yeah, no, I think about that a
A
lot.
long time ago.
I really want to have a legacy of helping people be themselves. A
Mm,
legacy of just being able to walk in their authenticity, and I got the opportunity to be a part of that, if that makes sense. I want people to just be. I'm 23 and I'm figuring it out now, so when I'm 70, y'all can just look at my blueprint, just do it, just do the work. Like I want to lay a blueprint out. Like honestly, or being very truly, I'm doing this for my kids. I'm doing this for my offspring because I want to be healed, a whole person that can function, bring somebody in consciously into this world with love, understanding, patience, kindness. I'm doing this for just, so mess doesn't come out of me. So mess doesn't come out of me. So I don't put another ill functioning person into this world. I want to, I'm doing this for my legacy. Because I'm not gonna say I don't have a legacy. I have a big family, but a lot of things I had to figure out my own or by myself. A lot of
right.
things, most things, most things I had to figure out when I left and had the opportunity to start over in a whole new place. That was the biggest change for me, and I always encourage that. Get out of your environment that you've been around your entire life. Like you're around the same people forever and ever and ever and ever. No, the world is huge. There's different mentalities. Get around different kinds of people that think differently from you, that can expand your mind on a certain topic. Just get in somewhere new. I'm sorry, I know that was a little tangent,
No,
but
no,
yeah.
no, no. You,
Yeah.
you know, when you're on a roll, you're on a roll. So don't
Man, man,
apologize.
man.
You bringing it down because we need to hear that. And I'm saying for me, I definitely need to hear young people say it because that reaffirms me too. And you're never too old for somebody to say something. I get a lot of wisdom from younger people, from babies. Sometimes have a
Come on
way of
now.
giving you stuff, and you be like, "Oh, I forgot I could do that."
Come on now.
So no, we need to hear that, Taylor. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Like this was just, girl. I want to show one last piece of yours. It's on video, so I'm not really sure how this is gonna work. So hold on. I want to show this last piece. If you're joining us today, we were joined by Sister Taylor, who is an artist and creator. Her work is incredible. And let's get this last piece up here. Can you see that?
Yeah.
What is this?
So I do paddles and stuff for fraternities and sororities. So that's a part of my art that I do. Again, all this just started adding up. This guy, his line name was Two Face, and again, me accepting all challenges. It was like his line. All they give me is he's an alpha. His line name is Two Face. When I think of Two Face, what's going on in my brain? You know what's registering? I think of the arts, the two people, the happy and the sad, the representation of theater. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna do that, but their symbols are eight, so I'm gonna do eights in the representation of that. And this went viral on social media. Like, this went huge. I was like, okay, cool. I'm glad y'all like it. Like, I'm glad y'all liking the things that I'm coming up with my head. Like, I could literally look at something blank and just come out with something. That's why I call myself masterpiece. Because I'm a masterpiece while I'm learning how to be a masterpiece, or I'm mastering peace. Like, I'm a master. I'm already a person. You see what I'm saying? I'm already something while I'm still trying to figure it out. Because you never have all the answers. You never have all the answers. You never have all the answers. You're still, again, operating with the best mentality that you have for it. So it's just, yeah, I'm just happy. I'm happy to be here.
Wow. So don't hang up when I close this out. So just don't hang up. I want to thank you so much. Any parting words for you before I end the show today?
Your gift will always make room for you. Be yourself. Stay unique. Stay unique. Please stay unique. Don't be regular. Regular. Where did they go? Where did they go? Nowhere. Be unique. Be unique. Stay you always. Your gift will make room for you. Yeah.
Right on. Family, thank you so much for joining us on Sunday Sit with Sisters. Thank you, Taylor. You've been an awesome guest.
Thank you for
Awesome.
having me.
Taylor is an artist and a creator. Okay.
Hold on.
Check out her work. Where can they find you, Taylor?
Instagram at underscore masterpiece. MASTARPEACE. So Instagram, that's my main way of showing my art and everything, and you get to see what I've been working with.
All right, y'all. We're gonna hear plenty more from her in the future. Look out for this sister. I'm so grateful. Thank you, Taylor. Hold the line for just a minute and let me wrap this up. Peace, family. See you next week.